Hello guys, welcome back. Today we are going to discuss an OET letter. It's an interesting one. Usually for exam you may get letters like this. It's quite a lengthy one. Look at this. You have almost 3 pages of details here. So let's go to the letter. The patient's name is Jonathon Singh. Hospital, Flinders Medical Center. Details are given here. Admitted on 22nd and is getting discharged on 26th. Diagnosis is carbon monoxide poisoning from home kerosene heater. Past medical history: cataract surgery, surgical repair for prostate hypertrophy, psoriasis, and constipation, impaired vision, glasses, etc. Then social history is given. Is a retired bank employee. And let's go to day 1. Here we can see that the patient was admitted with these issues: widely dilated pupils, unconscious, cold, clammy skin, cherry red lips, and skin dyspnea. Physical examination did not show any other injuries. Treatment: they started O2 saturation details, hyperbaric oxygenation started, hourly assessment of vital signs, calm environment, NG tube inserted for feeding, monitored for asphyxia, registrar visit at 2 p.m., knees flexed using pillows, footboard to prevent foot drop, pressure area care, indwelling catheter, skin care for psoriasis. And the patient is comatose, but no other physical injuries, no asphyxia. Day 2, the same thing is repeated there. Let's see if there are any other details. Same thing: calm environment, NG tube, skin care, same thing. But you can see in the observation, patient regained consciousness with right hemiphagia 1800. That means 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. At 6 p.m. Day 3, you can see that almost the similar information is given, but NG tube was removed. He was commenced on liquid diet, oral liquid diet. Mobility was assessed. Right-sided weakness he has. Then his speech is impaired. Vision is fine. Small pillow was placed on affected right side for prevention of adduction of arm. Physiotherapist assessment and commencement of passive exercise. That's new there. Pressure area care. Removal of IDC. On observation, you can see level of consciousness with right-sided weakness. He is comfortable, depressed, and anxious. And on day 4, you can see same thing repeated, but physiotherapist visited, passive exercises continued. He is on full ward diet and fluids. On observation, we can see patient is mentally stable now, but he is depressed. He is making steady physical progress. Doctor has advised discharge tomorrow and further rehabilitation at General Repatriation Hospital. On nursing management, you can see in nursing management, provided comfortable, stable environment, output skin integrity, diet monitored, assistance in regaining physical health. Okay, so this is the discharge plan. Daily assessment and support from physiotherapist and possibly occupational therapist for increased mobility and physical ability. Psychiatrist visit to be initiated regarding depression caused by loss of mobility and independence following the accident. Understood? Writing task: write a letter referral to Director, General Repatriation Hospital, Doe Park, using the information. So this is a referral letter. Patient is getting discharged. Here it is mentioned patient is getting discharged tomorrow, but we have the discharge date, that is 26. So we will mention the date as 26, and the patient is getting discharged today. And we have the diagnosis here, and when you look at this letter, you have almost 4 days of detail. But how will you write all this information within the word limit? So you don't have to write the entire details, day 1, day 2, day 3. We cannot do that. Instead, you can write day 1 what happened, then any other changes happened, you can write that, and how is his condition at the time of discharge, you can write that, and that will be enough. So that's how you should write it. So let's write this letter. You can see it's a referral letter and an unknown case. Address is given: Director, General Repatriation Hospital, Joe Park. So we can start like that. Director, address is given, and the date is given. Discharge date is 26th. Because we do not know the details or name of the recipient, we can write: Dear Sir, Madam, referring Mr. Jonathon Singh, aged 63 years, following the official OET format. Now, the first paragraph is the most important thing in OET letter. You can write just 2 sentences would be more than enough. In the first sentence, you can write the purpose of the letter, and in the second sentence, you can write the diagnosis or the present condition of the patient. Here, I am writing to refer Mr. Singh, who requires rehabilitative care and management. So that's what he requires at your hospital following his discharge today. So that is clear. When the recipient reads it, he understands that the patient requires rehabilitative care. And the second sentence, he is currently recovering from carbon monoxide poisoning out of a home kerosene heater. See, without reading anything else, further down, the recipient has got already a complete picture of what's happening here. And next paragraph, we are going to write about the admission, what happened, how was his condition. Mr. Singh was admitted to our hospital on 22nd. He was unconscious with cherry red lips and cold, clammy skin. He suffered from dyspnea. His pupils were widely dilated. So this was his condition during the admission. Okay, that's clear. Now the third paragraph. During hospitalization, see that's a phrase you have to give a comma there. He underwent hyperbaric oxygenation and he was monitored for asphyxia. He had initially required indwelling catheter and was fed using NG tube. You see that usage. He had initially required indwelling catheter and was fed using NG tube. Means the beginning days NG tube and catheter was used. Later it was removed. So we don't have to write day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 like that. Just like that. Initially required, then later on it was removed. It is understood. That's how you reduce the number of words. He was provided pressure area care and skin care for psoriasis. Those were the treatments given. Next paragraph, on 24th, so there was some change. Mr. Singh regained consciousness with right hemiphagia. He was commenced on passive exercises after physiotherapy assessment, which has improved his range of motion. You can see all those details were given, but we are making it concise, short. Now, his present condition is this: he has right-sided weakness, his speech is impaired. Pillows were used to prevent his arm adduction. He was commenced on full war diet and fluids. So that's his present condition. Understood? Now, we have to talk about his social background. Mr. Singh is a retired bank employee. We are not mentioning the name of the bank and details, that's not required. His wife and adopted daughter live overseas at present, because that means they cannot be helpful at the moment. But you can reach his NOK, next of kin, Mrs. Megan Singh, and the phone number is given if required. You see that? So we have already mentioned in just 2 paragraphs the entire things that happened with the patient, how his condition was during admission, and how he is right now, the main treatments that were given. Everything is mentioned in just 2 paragraphs. Understood? Now, finally, what we need here is, that's what the discharge plan. Although Mr. Singh is now mentally stable and making steady physical progress, he is depressed. That's the main thing. Owing to his physiological state. In the letter it's given he is depressed because he cannot do things by himself. He has to be dependent on somebody else. We just mentioned it in just one word here. Physiological state. You see that's how you make this letter concise. Therefore, please arrange psychiatrist visit for him. So that makes sense. Secondly, in order to improve his mobility and functionality, he also requires daily assessment and support from physiotherapist and occupational therapist. So that's all. Let's go to the letter. Did we miss anything here? We have written all these details. Admission date, discharge date, diagnosis is written. We did not write cataract surgery, surgical repair for prostate hypertrophy. We did not include these things because it is not relevant. That information will not help the recipient because it is not related at all. Their past medical history. Psoriasis we have included. Constipation we did not include. Impaired vision, glasses doesn't seem to be making much of difference, so we did not include that. We just included about psoriasis because treatment was given for that. Skin integrity was maintained. He had some issue with his skin, so that's why we mentioned about psoriasis. Other things we just did not include. Then all these information we have included, and these things were negative, so no need to mention that. That won't do any good. All the other things, hyperbaric oxygenation treatment was started. Then NG tube was inserted. He was monitored for asphyxia. Then food board to prevent, we did not write that. Doesn't seem to be that important. Pressure area care was given. Indwelling catheter was used. Skin care for psoriasis we have included that. All right. Then same here, repetition. We have mentioned a change here. He regained his consciousness with right hemisphere. We have mentioned that. Other things are same here. But here we have included right-sided weakness. His mobility was assessed by physiotherapist. And he was commenced on passive exercises. Yes, we have mentioned that. Again, observation. Comfortable, depressed. Okay, we have included that. Depressed and anxious. All right. Then physiotherapist continued. He was commenced on full ward diet and fluids. We have mentioned that. And finally, observation patient is mentally stable but depressed, making steady progress. Doctor has advised discharge. Okay, we have mentioned all that. Skin integrity, diet monitored. We have mentioned all these things. And finally, discharge plan. We have mentioned that he required physiotherapist, occupational therapist, and to help him regain his confidence, psychiatrist, because he is depressed. So, and everything we have mentioned in just I have used 224 words. So that's the letter. All right, so practice this type of letters, which should really help you to prepare for your OET. I hope this helps you, and I will see you in the next class. Stay tuned. If you have any doubts, please write down in the comments. We'll make more of these interesting videos. If you need personal training, group training, online or offline classes for your OET, please get in touch with us. We are available. Details are in the description. I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.